Are you dreaming of the lifestyle that comes with successful trading? Well, it's time to make it a reality. Welcome to the Trading Ascension podcast, where you can discover methods to improve your trading results by focusing on your trading psychology. I'm Jason E., your guide on this path to trading improvement, self-discovery, and self-mastery. Together, we'll explore the personal and spiritual growth journey of profitable day trading. Prepare to unlock the secrets of the trader's mind and align your inner self with your personal success. Listen to this episode if you want to ascend to new levels of trading excellence and personal development. This is Trading Ascension, supporting your journey to mastering trading psychology and personal growth for consistent profits. Let's elevate your trading and your consciousness starting now. In today's episode, I want to talk about sharpening your trading mind, sharpening it for a craft in which decisions are key to success. Having the decision-making tool sharp like a newly crafted sword and not dull like an old butter knife will help you compete more and better in the most competitive game on the planet. I want to tell you a story. In ancient Syracuse, which is Sicily, they had a king named Hiero II, and he was both proud and also a suspicious person. And his goal was to let his glory be known by having a brand new crown created in gold. So he commissioned this magnificent crown to be made, instructing the goldsmith to use only the purest gold from the royal treasure. When the gleaming crown was delivered, its craftsmanship was exquisite. The king was full of joy, right? He's like, yeah, I'm balling on these fools, right? But then the king's trust, it wavered. He started to get doubt. He was like, man, is this truly gold? Or had the goldsmith secretly replaced gold with some cheap silver on the inside? Is this a gold-plated crown? He was worried. So then he summoned Archimedes. Archimedes is the most brilliant mathematician and inventor in the city, right? So he's like, man, I got to call on this smart dude, and I'm going to charge him with uncovering the truth, but without damaging the crown. So he was like, hey, oh, super smart dude, I need you to help me ease my mind so I can get the evidence needed to kill that dude, or just feel better about this purchase, right? About using all this gold to make this crown. Archimedes accepted the challenge, but soon he found himself in this mental labyrinth. He spent days pacing in his study room. He had these scrolls everywhere, weights, right? The balance beams. He's staring at the crown, looking at its intricate curves. He weighs it, he measures it, he calculates its value. But every method seemed to risk harming the royal crown and gave no results. You know, even if he just scratched it in a noticeable way, the king would be mad. So frustration, it started to gnaw at him, right? We all know frustration as traders. Next thing you know, he's just hyper focused on it. He's skipping meals. He's losing sleep. His mind is growing foggy and he doesn't even realize, right? He's just overwhelmed with these endless calculations. And we traders do that. We start to toil over hurdles, losing sleep, going on these video rampages, purchasing these trading books, thinking that we can force the solution to our problems. But like trading success, at times frustration can't be pushed away. And Archimedes' problem, it seemed impossible. And the king, on top of that, was growing impatient with every passing day. You ever had that feeling, man, that this trading needs to work now? I need to pay this bill with it. Or I need this trading money to fix this life problem. If I don't get this right by this date, I'm going to quit, or I'm going to change and strategy jump, right? And you're putting all this pressure on yourself. And it seems real at the time. So at this point, Archimedes, he couldn't even see straight. His mind was foggy. He's looking at the crown, and it just led to more fatigue. Have you ever traded when you feel like less than optimal? Ever wake up late, rushing to the trading screen, didn't sleep well? You're still trading. Maybe you partied last night and you still wake up and trade. Hungover from that party, you're still trading. Had a recent, beef or argument. It's unresolved now and you're still trading. And you're just mad for no reason, right? Emotional, still trading. Archimedes was facing his problem without being optimal. So the key is not to worry about that stuff. It's about seeking being optimal. We'll talk more about that later. But for Archimedes, one afternoon, he was weary, desperate for relief. And he decided, you know what, I'm going to go to the public bathhouse. And this is where those high society folks could go and get pampered, experience this warm water, marble floors, cool beneath their feet. This air thick with the steam and the scent of olive oil. Beautiful people holding towels and trays of fruit. So he pampered himself. And as he eased himself into the warm water, he felt his muscles relax, like, that breath of relaxation. And for the first time in days, he was like, man, I'm relaxed. Let me just calm down for a second. Sometimes you get so far down the path of stress that it's only when relaxation hits that you realize, like, damn, I was tense. So his mind too began to drift with his body. He was freed from the relentless grip of solving that puzzle of the crown. And then, as he watched the water rise around him, a spark of insight flashed. He realized that the amount of water that was displaced by his body was equal to his volume. In an instant, the solution crystallized in his brain. If he could measure how much water the crown displaced compared to an equal weight of pure gold, he could determine if silver had been mixed in without harming the crown at all. So he is overcome with excitement. Archimedes leaped from the bath, water sloshing everywhere, right? Slipping on the towel. And he ran naked through the streets of Syracuse shouting, "Eureka! Eureka! I found it." His breakthrough, born not from relentless toil, but from a moment of rest and renewal. And this would not only solve the king's dilemma, but also change the course of science forever. Because at that moment, not only did he put Eureka in the slang dictionary of his times, but he created the principle of buoyancy, a science used today to solve problems in engineering, physics, even shipbuilding. Wherever measuring the volume and density of irregular objects is essential, we can all thank that to him. So listen, the breakthrough didn't come from grinding away at his desk. It came during rest, when his mind was relaxed and open. So the principle here is that breakthroughs happen when your brain is rested, nourished, and given space to think. Trading focus is maximized when your mind is rested, nourished, and has space to think. Pushing harder isn't always the answer. Sometimes stepping back is the smartest move, and brain health being a priority is essential for day traders. So let's pull back the curtain on this. Let's talk about evidence. Modern neuroscience confirms that rest and downtime spark creativity and problem solving by allowing the brain to make new neural connections. He has passed away a while ago now, so you may not remember him, but older folks do. It's Steve Jobs, the creator of a lot of Apple products, right? iPhone, iPad, etc. Right? Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day. And Bill Gates, almost does the same thing too. A lot of successful people do this because research tells us that decisions are finite. The amount of decisions you have over the course of a day are limited before decline kicks in. That means we have a limited amount of decisions that we can make before we start to see decline in brain function. In 2011, there was a study by De Ziger, Leva, and Peso, which found that judges' likelihood of granting parole dropped significantly as they made more decisions throughout the day, only rebounding after breaks. And this was demonstrating in this study that the brain's decision-making capacity fatigued with repeated use. Now, additionally, on top of that, research summarized in recent reviews, it shows that adults make an estimate 33,000 to 35,000 decisions daily. And this constant decision-making depletes mental resources, leading to decision fatigue and impaired judgment as the day progresses. These findings confirm that the brain has a finite capacity for quality decision making each day before fatigue sets in. And you'd be amazed how many decisions go into one action. So when you think about that number, think you can't affect it. You can't affect it. You can lower it. You can decrease it dramatically with the tips we're going to talk about today. So this lets us traders know that we need to have this fact in our mind when we're considering a morning routine and what we do before we trade. Now, for those who are, in a time zone that have to trade later in the day, you still need to consider brain fatigue due to the amount of decisions you're engaging in as a factor for your day. Studies show decision fatigue leads to poor choices, while sleep and brain breaks improve brain accuracy and speed. So how do we apply this? Let's put this into action from a few different perspectives. Let's talk about being proactive against brain stressors. And let's talk about the tools to save brain capacity and reset brain capacity. And let's talk about strengthening focus. You should have some or all of these built into your life so you can reap the benefits of a healthier, sharper mind, which leads to better trading decisions. So first, being proactive against stressors. We all have stress in our life, and stress is when we personally hit a mental threshold. This threshold in research and in science is called the window of tolerance. Maybe it's called that in psychology as well. And this is a unique way that each person is shaped by life experiences, support systems, and coping tools. When stress exceeds this threshold, it can trigger strong emotional or physical reactions and make it hard to manage daily tasks and focus. So one tool I want to highlight here is, you've heard it before, meditation. Meditation serves as a way to calibrate with yourself without stress. When we can align with this normal state of ourselves, when we do that, when we become familiar with that state, we're more likely to see when we're veering from that state. So like Archimedes, before he went to the bathhouse, he was highly stressed. We too can be highly stressed because we don't notice when stress starts to take over. A person who meditates can tell when they start to get off track. A person without a practice of mental clarity can get all the way to their window of tolerance before the alarms start going off. The difference is, so let's say it like this. Let's say there's a burglar at your home, right? And that burglar represents stress. Now, a person who meditates, they have a doorbell camera, cameras around the house, alarms on the windows and doors. So the thief is caught early in the process of trying to bring their stress into the house. Now, a person who doesn't meditate, they might have an alarm on the safe where they keep the jewels. So think about how much further the thief gets into the domain of that second person versus the first. And again, that thief is stress, right? And we want to get rid of it early. And when you meditate, you have the mind that has the alarms that say, hey, we're getting off kilter here. So the first tool is to add a quiet mind activity in your daily routine. Best times are before bed, when you wake up, before trading. All of those are great times to just sit quiet, do a breathing exercise, or just sit and let thoughts go by, let them pass by. Let's talk about tools to save brain capacity and reset brain capacity. By far, most traders I've interviewed and speak with about the importance of, they emphasize the importance of a pre-trading or a morning routine. Just like Steve Jobs knew picking outfits in the morning was going to take away his capacity, we have to consider the decisions we're making in the morning so the mind doesn't have to contemplate so much. And this is done with a solid morning routine. And our morning routine should have some factors. It should be energizing, and it should be aligning us with our future self, and it should be consistent so the brain can rest assured on it. When your brain knows exactly what's going to happen when you wake up, then it can wake up with a little less stress and tension. When the actions, you jump into are energy building and align with your future self, then you're really starting your day off right. I read a book that said over the course, how do I put it? It said the first 20 minutes of your day set the entire course of your day. And it said that it's nearly impossible to change the course of your day after that. So we have to protect the first 20 minutes of our day. So what does that mean? It means don't run to social media. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're susceptible to other people's thoughts and opinions and negativity. Don't do that first thing in the morning. Protect your mind. Prioritize yourself and put your mental health first. A routine prior to trading, right, not only saves brain capacity, but it locks in success. And it's the same way a pro athlete might have like a pre-game routine that primes their mind, preparing it for focused action. You need a pre-trade routine that solidifies that focus for the day. It locks you into game mode. And it also should gauge if you're optimal to trade. So like we mentioned earlier, a novice trader can easily start to trade when they don't feel top tier. So listen, 2 parts to this. If you are a new trader and you've not yet gathered thousands of pictures of your trades, right? And you don't have your strategy recognition locked in, like it's like when you see it, it's like seeing a friend that you've known forever, then you shouldn't most likely be taking days off, right? Now, that doesn't mean you should be live trading, but you have to get that experience, and experience only comes from trading in the experience zone, which is live trading. That's the growth zone. Nothing else really counts. Everything else is just preparation, getting to the growth zone. And again, even if you paper trade, maybe you have to record the session and replay it later to trade. But once you've passed that stage, you need to use your experience to know what conditions and recent events that you should not trade after. And you should take days off. Like restless nights or post arguments, things like that. You should have filtered out of your trading plan. And then one thing you should also do, right? This is part of the pre-trade routine that I mentioned, is you should have a filtering question set to gauge your readiness for the day. Experienced traders don't need to trade every day, especially if they aren't in a focus winning mindset. I always give credit to Greg Papasol for this and the interview I had with him. And he gave me during that show questions like, and these are questions you ask yourself before trading. Am I rested? Have I let go of yesterday's losses? How did I do on the first trade of the day? Right? He even goes past that first trade to gauge if he should continue or stop. And it was a game changer for me. So create your own, or go listen to that show, or hit up Greg Papazal and his community. Let him know Jason E sent you. But there are part of the morning routine that is energizing you, locking you into the future self, setting the daily focus of the day, should be a gauge on if you are in the optimal state to perform in the most competitive game in the world. Now, the last tool as we round off this, approach to brain health, I must mention, I guess the last few tools, but I must mention rest and diet. I won't deep dive into what you need to, be doing that. But I will tell you that it took months of trial and error and data collection for me to figure out the ideal minute for me to go to sleep and wake up. And once I did, I felt great. Once I found it, it became my new life norm. Besides just, normal good nutrition habits, and food that directly aid the brain, there are things in this area you can use, like supplements, pills that aid brain function, things from vitamins to, fatty omega acids to nootropics. And I often talk about nootropics on the show and how they help me. Since I saw that movie, Limitless, I've been obsessed with finding what works for me. And some things work. They only work for a short time. Then I'll try other things. But I got a locked in routine right now with my nootropics and my morning routine. It feels great. Hit the charts, ready to rock and roll. And the thing about nootropics is they react different to different body types. So you just have to find what works for you if you are going that route. Another way to promote brain health is with activities as simple as writing and reading. It's amazing as a society, and maybe I'm dating myself, but it's amazing how far we've gotten away from putting a pen or a pencil to paper. But that activity, it takes a lot of focus. It sharpens our mind. Reading also is a mind sharpening tool, especially in a world where we get overwhelmed with dopamine that comes from the internet and these technology devices. Take time to read. To make sure that your brain is healthy, you want to make sure that you have a scheduled breaks in your trading, especially if you have a long trading session, right? You may not need a break if you're just trading the first, open 20 minutes or something like that. But you want to take time to walk away, stretch, or just simply breathe for a moment. And this can increase and reset your brain's ability to focus so you can continue on. Things you can do, you can write down your trading goals. Write them down with your hands so you can activate your brain's creative centers. Read something inspiring or educational, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, to refresh your mind. So let's recap. Build a daily quiet mind activity like meditation into your routine, especially before trading, after waking up, or before bed. Establish a consistent, energizing pre-trading or morning routine to save mental energy and set the day's focus. Use a checklist of questions to gauge your readiness to trade, focusing on rest, emotional state, and recent results. Prioritize rest and experiment with diet to find the best brain support for your brain health. To do this, you want to consider safe nootropics or supplements if they fit your needs, and always track how they affect your focus. You have to get data. Handwrite your trading goals and plans to engage your brain's creative centers. It's a great thing to do as part of the pre-trading routine. And then if you have a long trading session, schedule regular breaks during sessions to reset your mind and maintain a sharp focus. When you feel yourself getting, emotional, off kilter, reactionary, rest, walk away, take a break. And then lastly, read something educational or inspiring each day, even if it's just 10 minutes to refresh your thinking. We all have had situations in which we recognize, the things that we chase run away, right? With any level of maturity, you know that. And that could be a person, right, that you were infatuated with, or just results you sought aggressively only to have the solution come when you went into a state of ease and you just let go. You ever lost something You just had to sit and just think like, man, where the hell was it? And then the memory just comes back to you. Or you're talking in the conversation and you're like, oh, what's that movie? Or what's that person? Right? And then it just jumps back in your head randomly later in the day. These things happen. And like Archimedes, your next trading breakthrough might not come from aggressively seeking, staring at the screen, but it might come from giving your mind the rest and the fuel it needs. Step back, recharge, and let your best ideas and your focus rise to the surface. Because a sharp, rested mind is the greatest trading asset. Have a great week, traders. And here's to being the hero of your story. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Trading Ascension Podcast. I hope you're gaining valuable insights to support your day trading journey. If you found value today, I'd appreciate it if you could follow me on Instagram, Real Trading Ascension, subscribe on YouTube, and give this episode a like. Your support helps me grow and bring you even better content. Be sure to visit tradingascension.com for free resources, exclusive tips, and tools designed to elevate your trading. I'm inviting you back. Join me in the next episode as we continue to ascend together. Until then, keep ascending, stay mindful, and remember, your journey to mastering trading psychology and consistent profits starts with your commitment to personal growth. Yeah.